So let's talk about the most broken, the most powerful, the most overpowered class vocation in the entirety of the game, the Mystic Spearhand. In this video I'm going to show you the best augments, the best skills that you should be using with this guy, and the best upgrade path, the best blacksmithing upgrades that you should be taking with this guy. A lot of it is really straightforward, but if you really want to take the best out of this guy, it's just this guide is going to do that for you. Now, first and foremost, a little bit of an explanation on why this guy is so amazing, with some little bit of a gameplay in the backgrounds. And in reality, more than anything, it's just that this guy is the cheese kind of class, like the easy mode of the game, because of one single thing: the mirror shield, the mirror shield, the invincibility thing that you see right here, that I'm spamming and spamming and spamming. This class is just basically, this guy, it's just basically invincible, like quite literally invincible. Every time that you cast this thing, you're going to get 8 seconds of invincibility. The thing is that every time that you use this thing, it's also going to affect the upgraded version of the thing. It's also going to affect the people that are around you. So if you command your pawns to stay close to you anytime that you're going to be casting this thing, you can do crazy shenanigans like having 4 sorcerers on the battlefield to rain fire, to rain havoc and destruction on the battlefield without having to worry really if you're going to need healing or aggro or anything like that, because this guy is just that. And because of the gameplay that you see on the backgrounds, yes, 8 seconds might not sound that amazing to you, but remember that the intervals, because of how the gameplay and skeletons of the enemies work in this game, they are very generous on the amount of time or how fast they do attacks. So even then, you can start using this little cheerleader baton kind of thing when she starts spinning the weapon, and immediately as you think that it is going to run out of it, then you immediately cast it again. And the thing is that every time that you're fighting against flying monsters, you have your archers, you have your mages, you have your sorcerers, and you can't really do anything like if you would be, for like example, a thief or a fighter or a warrior, just standing in there. The one thing that you can do is just cast infinitely and infinitely and infinitely the shield and let everyone do their job. And as a matter of fact, that is something that you can do if you want to play the real boring path of this class, of this vocation, of this character. If you really do not feel like struggling and you just want to chill and you want to see things exploding around here and there, carry yourself with an archer, with a sorcerer, with a mage, something that it is going to take care of everything that's happening around you, and your only job, the only thing that you're going to need to do is just cast the invincibility shield at all times. Now, that is not to say that it is not fun to play this class. That is cheese. You can cheese the entirety of the game, any boss, by doing such a thing, but it is actually quite interesting to play this class. So that being said, let's talk about a little bit about the skills that we're going to have, and that is one of the most amazing things about this character, that this guy is just basically a medieval Jedi. As you can see right here, with the Dragon's Phone. This basically, it's your closing gap distance thing that you are going to have. You can close the gap, and you can also combine this thing. You can also combo this thing with the Sky Dragoon Fist. The Sky Dragoon's Fist, it's actually quite amazing because this thing is going to give you iframes. So if you see a griffin or a dragon that's flying away, you can use Dragoon's Phone, which is not going to teleport you to the back of the enemy, but after you have done so, you can immediately cast Sky Dragoon's Fist, and this is going to pinpoint you on the enemy. Sometimes if you're on the ground and you're fighting a dragon, you're fighting a drake, you're fighting a chimera, or something that it's not talent enough, you can still get on their back and start using your little combo of like swinging your lightsabers baton, that thing that you have. A lot of the things that this guy has are kind of like meh, Like for example the Seeking Storm, which are those little bubbles that you see right there. They are actually quite nice for small enemies, but they don't really deal that much of damage. And then we have the Humble Offering, which is just basically to make you feel Jedi. And it might have some uses around here and there if you have explosives or barrels or things around flying around. You can find some crazy little things for this, but I'd say that this is a little bit more of a niche. Dragoon's Foin, I'd see a little bit more of advantage in this thing just because of the closing the distance. I see the Sky Dragoon's Feste as a more useful thing because it gives you iframe and it allows you to mount monsters. That's what she said. And then the must, the one that you're always going to have at all times, it's the Mirror Shells, which is going to be your bread and butter. This is what you're basically going to be doing most of the time. And then you have Ante the Sky, which is just fun. It's to yeet enemies, but this is not going to give you materials nor experience, so I do not know why would you be using this. Now the Wild Fury, a lot of people do not like the Wild Fury because it doesn't deal as much damage because you run immediately out of stamina while using this thing. If you combine this with the ultimate attack of the Mage, if you have a Mage in your crew and you cast the ultimate, the Maester skill for the Mage, you can basically turn into a lasering, damaging machine because you're going to be able to spam this thing as much as possible. So my bread and butter, what I used to use, what I like to use the most is just Dragon's Foin, followed by a Sky Dragon's Feste. This is the one that's a must, the Mirror Shells, and then finally Wild Fury, but you have to have the Mage. Now the Augments. As for the Augments, this is going to be a mix between the different classes that you have around there. Because of how much stamina you're going to be using with your shields, it is in your best interest to have your increased maximum stamina with the Endurance, but also you want to have Exaltation to augment the recovery speed. This comes from the Mage, and also Seal from the Warfare. This is going to reduce the stamina consumed every time that you use a weapon skill. You combine these three, these three right here, the maximum stamina, the Exaltation, and your Seal, and you have damage and invincibility iframes with your shields for days. It just makes you so invincible, so broken, so powerful, so delightful. Then we have Lethality, which increases the damage dealt when striking at targets' vitals. This is especially useful when fighting against dragons, because when you're spinning your weapon like a maniac cheerleader with a baton, you're always going to be dealing damage to the heart of the dragon. So you're always going to be increasing your damage right here. Polarity, it's actually quite nice because it increases your strength. I'd say that the strength from the Thief is more important than Polarity, because at the end of the day, you do use kind of magic with this character, but not that much. Ideally, the strength is going to be the bread and butter of your character. And then Dominance, which is just knockdown and knockdown. It's always amazing. And finally, for the upgrade blacksmithing path, the only one thing that you're always going to be using, it's Dwarven. Dwarven blacksmithing. Never, never, never upgrade your Mystic Spearhand with anything but the Dwarven, because the Dwarven is the very same one as the human blacksmithing path, but the Dwarven is going to give you knockdown resistance and knockdown power. You're not going to be using Elven kind of blacksmithing with your Magic Spearhand because it doesn't use that strength, and you're not going to be using Black Battalion because even though that you're not going to be using magic that much, you use magic a little bit, so you benefit from having that Dwarven. And of course, the Dwarven is going to give you knockdown resistances and knockdown power. Anyways, if you like the content, like never super appreciate it. Nostalgia today, you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful person. I'll be seeing you beautiful, beautiful people in the next one. Have a lovely, lovely day, and goodbye.